Hey there, everybody, it's Carsillo again on the West Coast. I'm sorry, this time difference is really screwing me up. It's about 9:30 here on the West Coast. I realize it's already 12:30 back on the East Coast. Basically, there's just been so much going on that I haven't been able to get this done at night to try and get up as soon as possible for you. I'm going to try and do it again tonight, but the mornings just seem to be better because when I get back to the hotel room, I'm just passing out. I mean, as being a one-man crew, you really don't realize how much E3 takes out of you. I mean, today we got 6 interviews lined up. So, I mean, hopefully we'll get you all that content edited and put together and put up. And we'll get you the news tomorrow, but we'll get actually all the video for you when we get back. I get back to New York. But the first thing we're going to get into, of course, was the big thing yesterday, was the big press conference, was Xbox 360. I mean, just blew everybody away, I think. Yes, I am supposed to be getting a free Xbox redesign. Which I have not received yet, but supposedly I got something from Activision back in New York. I'll let you know what that is when I get it. But a lot going on. I mean, obviously, the first thing is that as soon as we got in, a lot of us were freaked because we saw the Cirque du Soleil people again. You're going to see here, we saw the Cirque people surrounded with all the green lights and stuff. I mean, of course, Xbox had just completely taken over the Wiltern Theater. But a lot of us were surprised it was such a small venue. I guess it kind of spoiled why it was a small venue, but everybody by now already knows, was that everybody who was in attendance got an Xbox 360 redesign, a sleeker, smaller, silver model of the Xbox 360. Unfortunately, I feel I really bad now that I got my buddy an Xbox 360 for his wedding present, and then I got this for free. And I already gave him the wedding present, so that's why it's like, damn. But moving on, I mean, the big news all around. ESPN, of course, announcing ESPN3.com is going to be on Xbox 360. Which is going to be huge for the more casual gamer or in sports fans. And basically the whole theme of E3 so far has been casual gamers, which is unfortunate. But we'll get into that a little bit later. You had, of course, the announcement that Activision will exclusively with Black Ops and everything they got coming out until 2012 will be released first on Xbox 360. That was a huge announcement. We saw a little bit of Black Ops. We saw more Black Ops later in Activision. Black Ops looks great. I mean, I can't stress that enough. Treyarch, of course, stepping in now for Infinity Ward, which has basically been dissolved and has turned into Respawn Entertainment. It looks phenomenal. It looks absolutely unbelievable. The effects, they showed us the Vietnam mission in Laos, and blowing up bridges, flying the helicopter, picking guys off. I mean, it's just classic Call of Duty, and it just, it looks really good. Moving on to something else that looks amazing was, of course, Gears of War 3. Cliff Bleszinski came out and showed that off, and we were all, the best thing about it was honestly seeing the mutating monsters, the Lambit, actually mutating combat. You got 4-player co-op. This is easily the biggest and best Gears yet, and we only saw about a 5-minute demo. Also my boy Rod Ferguson, give him a shout out, was one of the guys playing in the 4-player co-op along with Cliff. Of course, I interviewed Rod a couple years ago and Gears 2 came out. Hopefully I'll get back in touch with Rod again for Gears 3. Another big thing, Hideo Kojima, of course, came out, showed off Metal Gear Solid Rising. A lot of us, talked to a lot of people in the audience, talked to the guys from Rooster Teeth a little bit, talked to some other people from other different outlets. We were all very hesitant about what was going to be with Metal Gear Solid Rising. I mean, with the sword play and everything. And when we saw it, we saw bodies being cut up repeatedly over and over again in midair. Metal Gear Solid Rising looks hot, bottom line. Unbelievable sword play. I mean, of course, Kojima with his classic, with the cutting of the watermelon, his classic humor. But absolutely unbelievable all around. And then, of course, we got to see Peter Molyneux. I actually saw Peter Molyneux outside online. He was on the phone. And the guy is just cold as ice. You just look at him, and he just looks at you back. And it's like, oh, my God, you are a James Bond villain come to life. But Molyneux was there, of course, showing off Fable 3. Everyone's like, it's really got that British feel to it if you look at it. And with the colonial uniforms, it's kind of taking place 50 years after Fable 2. Your character from Fable 2 is dead, but he's had 2 sons, or a son and a daughter, depending on who you play as. And basically, one is a tyrant, and you got to be the good guy. So that looks really awesome. And, of course, you saw Halo Reach, which... it's typical Halo gameplay. I mean, it looks pretty. It looks very, very pretty, but it's just typical Halo gameplay. So I really wasn't overly blown away with that. And then, the big thing though about the Halo thing I want to mention is that in the demo though they showed us That reminded me of Rogue Squadron, the dogfight they did in space. That was really awesome, and I can't wait to really actually play that. So, although, you know, that actually did impress me. The ground game is your typical, you know, run and gun, you know, first-person shooter, Halo action, but that really did blow me away. That's why I took notes. That's why I'm trying to hit on everything in the 10 minutes I have. We also went and hit Ubisoft, and basically Ubisoft did everything you expected. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, not really that impressed, more downloadable content. Ghost Recon, which is cool, but, you know, it almost seems too easy because they give you too many technological helps. They give you invisibility, for Christ's sakes, and they tell you where all the enemies are. I mean, why even play the game? They also showed us Driver, the San Francisco, which I'm not impressed with. I like that they went back to the original characters from Driver 1, but they give him this thing called shift mode, where he basically bounces around from car to car like he's God, because he's supposed to be in a coma for the whole game, and he's supposed to be dreaming and reliving the events of the game, and it's like, so you give me the ending in the beginning, and you give me these ridiculous powers. What went wrong with Driver? Really, the first great game had so much that was great, had a lot of potential for future games, and they just tore it apart. Also saw a game called Child of Eden, basically a glorified light show. I mean, really, glorified light show, nothing special. I mean, I guess people are like, oh, it's so sensually, you know, all your sensors and senses are being bombarded, and I'm like, I play video games enough as is. My senses are pretty fine the way they are. Thank you. Of course, another Kinect game. People are desperate to try and get Kinect. And the big thing is, what I thought was interesting at Ubisoft, is Ubisoft has titles that go exactly with some of the launch titles for Kinect, and they're the exact same things. Motion sports for Ubisoft, Kinect sports, obviously, with the Kinect. They're both launching at the same time, but they're both the same thing. Not impressed with that. Also, a Michael Jackson dancing game is coming out. As you're going to see here, we got a picture of the people on the stage doing the moves. They said that typical gamers could do this. I have never seen a typical gamer be able to dance like Michael Jackson. Ever. Alright, so I don't know about that. The other cool thing was Shaun White skateboarding actually looks really good. It reminds me of The Blob, basically meeting your old school Tony Hawk game. It could be interesting. Shaun, of course, he interviewed back in November, is a very cool dude. Good to see him still doing well. Only other thing about Ubisoft, Joe McHale hosted again. You know, very funny guy. Dude needs to learn how to read teleprompter. Moving on to into Activision last night at the Staples Center. Almost had a riot of bloggers as they let us into the arena and then forced us to get out because they hadn't been done with rehearsals. We were forced to wait till 10 o'clock until we were actually finally able to take our seats. We were there till 1 o'clock in the morning Western time. That's why, of course, I said, folks, I was really beat. I'm still on East Coast time, so that was 4 a.m. Eastern time. Really took a toll on me. But hey, everything was okay at the end. They gave us free cookies to make us feel better. But, you know, they got things started off with DJ Hero 2, which looks good. You know, I mean, it's DJ Hero. It's another DJ Hero game. You know, I mean, you're gonna have more music, more songs. You know, and that should be pretty good. You had David Guetta come out. You had Usher there. You know, the audience didn't really get into it until you started to get into. You know, the Tony Hawk came in, saved the day. Tony Hawk showed off his game, as we said. A couple of pictures from that. And then they showed off Guitar Hero's Warrior of Rock. Did a nice thing with Bohemian Rhapsody. Very pumped about that. But and of course, they also had a big thing for Black Ops with Eminem, which was awesome. M absolutely blew the roof off the place. Was the main headliner. You know, phenomenal job. But the thing I was most impressed with, True Crime Hong Kong. The new True Crime. Been a long time since they've done the True Crime series. They came out. Dominated with it. The demo looks phenomenal. NERD came out with some songs for it. Really, really impressed by the way that looks. Biggest disappointment though, no Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. I just realized I'm hitting the 10-minute warning, folks. So basically, I want to say thank you for watching. That's been my Monday E3 recap, and I'll be sure to get back with you Tuesday. Hopefully, a little less long-winded. Talk to you later, folks.